Welcome back. Appreciate you very much. Today we're going to talk about three things that you can do to be the best dad that you can be. Let's hit it off. Let's talk about the first one. First one is be present. Being present is not just physically being present. What does that really mean? I mean, for example, let's say, oh, I am at home all the time. Oh, I go to my kids' baseball practice. Okay, kudos, but here's the thing. Being present really means being there physically, emotionally, right? Being there, paying attention, being involved with your child. So, for example, let's take homework. Well, nowadays, everybody, we're at home, so we're helping our children with homework all the time. Okay, sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing. It depends on your mood. But nonetheless, you could be present with your child and trying to make the best out of that. So, for example, let's say you're at home. Let's say you're not doing homework. You're watching TV. You're relaxing. Take that opportunity to engage your child. Engaging means asking questions, practice active listening. So that's a little bit more involved, right? That's being present in your child's life. Let's say you're outside. Okay, let's say you're at practice. Let's say you're wherever you go. You could be there with your child present, right? But saying, hey, I love you. How's it going? Are you enjoying this? So again, you're interacting, you're being present. Let's take a restaurant, for example. Well, I always like to, my kids are a little older now, so I like them to interact a little bit more. I take that opportunity to have them order for themselves off the menu. Okay, so I'm engaging them, I'm teaching them, I'm being present. For example, like we get the food. Now, oh, how do you like it? Are you enjoying it? Again, being there with your child, being present, it's critical to being the best dad that you can be every day. Number two is provide. Well, as dads or as men in general, society says that you're the provider. Okay, that's fine. It doesn't necessarily just mean financial, right? This also means you can be a provider with love, stability. See, now you're providing even more than just finances, money, okay? Because, for example, you can have a lot of money, right, and be a good provider that way, which is great. But unfortunately, let's say now because of the pandemic that we're in currently still, sometimes that role of the provider may not be there. But it does not mean that you can't provide in other ways. So let's take love. I mean, love goes hand in hand with what we were just talking about with being present. With love, you can provide love, right? That's very easy, or maybe not. It depends. Unfortunately, some of us have not been taught how to love, and therefore we don't necessarily know how to love back. But again, I mean, nonetheless, provide your child with love. Unconditional love, actually, it's really how you should be loving your children. Unconditional love does not mean that you're just going to let your child do whatever he or she wants. It doesn't mean that. I mean, unconditional love means you love them no matter what. You will always be there for them, and they know that you're going to be there no matter what. That's love, unconditional love. Stability. Well, you need a stable home. You need stability in the home. I believe that stable homes are probably one of the biggest things that we can do to provide our children. And when we go home, we want to have that stability. We want to go home, relax. Okay, that's stability. So really, be a provider by uh, providing stability. And the last one, number three, is be a role model. Your children will always, always look up to you no matter what. If you're a good or bad role model, well, that's another story. But obviously, we're going to focus on being a good role model today. How can you be a good role model for your children? Well, if you practice everything else that we were talking about, well, that's going to be a very a good way of modeling, right? How to be present, how to be a provider, right? To your children, and then also act with integrity. Okay, because let's say at home you're you're your best self, right? Which is great, but outside you're not the best. Let's take road rage for example. I know that I can succumb to that sometimes. I'll get a little bit to me, but nowadays I just practice say, well, is it worth it? Is it getting mad? No, it's not. But again, you're role modeling to your children. So you think about it, your actions speak louder than words. We all know that, but definitely this is a big one. Okay, when you role model for your children indirectly, because it's called learned behavior. Learned behavior is really what you're modeling. Sorry, what you're teaching your children. They're learning from you. Okay, so that's why it's called learned behavior. So the last one is if so let me frame this way. My dad would always say, "I'm not raising you. I'm raising my grandchildren." I didn't quite understand that, but now, as far as trying to be a role model, really what you're doing is you're raising your children, but beyond your children, you're actually raising your grandchildren because your children will be raising your grandchildren. So now that actually resonates more with me, but really, what that means is, like I said, it's just we're not just raising our kids; we're raising citizens, people who are out there in society, just like you and I. Okay, so that's really if we model good behavior, we model things that we want others, then guess what? It comes from within. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much. I hope you subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you. Have a good one.